Welcome to our first in a series of videos on coordinated entry made simple. Coordinated entry is a system or a process, but also a strategy that simplifies how we expedite how the homeless get housed or get services they need. Coordinated entry system executed within a community or a continuum of care could move us more quickly to our goal to end homelessness. I've heard it said, HMIS shouldn't be this difficult, especially since most users really don't see the benefit and wouldn't use it if it wasn't a HUD requirement. But with coordinated entry, we have an opportunity to change that perception, an opportunity to build a system of homeless service providers that can work together in a coordinated effort to end homelessness, where homeless clients come first and the service providers work together across the continuum and become the system to get it done. With coordinated entry, we need to make it simpler to enter information and get people into the system. We need to make it simpler to share information across the system. And we need to make it simpler for homeless to find providers that best meet their needs. Our goal is that a coordinated entry process make it more likely that an individual or family will be served by the right intervention more quickly. In a coordinated system, each point of entry, whether it's a phone call, a website, a shelter, or a coordinated access point, uses the same assessment tool and makes decisions on which providers are referred based on a comprehensive understanding of each program's specific requirements, target population, and available beds and services. We will start with intake, noting that this intake refers to data entry of a client into the system, both into the computer information system and the coordinated entry system. It does not necessarily mean program or project enrollment, but is certainly a prerequisite to that goal. The intake provides the system with the information needed to make informed decisions on how to best serve the client. Coordinated intake should provide the system with a baseline of information where users are required to collect the same information across the continuum. The fastest client intake is when a client's information has already been entered into the system. That's why coordinated entry system fully integrated with a homeless management information system is so important. Millions of client records are already available in HMIS and can be searched to help simplify the client intake process. A user simply enters a text string containing part of the client's name or social security number or client key. To narrow the search, the user can use the advanced search to enter more information about the client. If this is a new client that is not homeless management information system, a new client page will provide the questions needed to enter a new client. More on these options will be discussed in the next video on coordinated intake. In this example, the client's name is Williams, so we can enter all or part of their name in the quick find option. If the search resulted in too many client records to view, the user could modify the search to enter more information about the client. In the search results, we see our client Zeke Williams is listed. The last 4 digits of his social security number or his date of birth can verify that this is the same Zeke Williams that we are talking with. Go ahead and click on Zeke's photo to pull up the client profile. Zeke's client profile should contain all the information needed to match him with the most appropriate services available. If Zeke was a new client and not already in the HMIS, the missing information would need to be completed in the HMIS profile or contact info pages. Zeke's signature for consent would need to be provided before Zeke would be able to participate in the coordinated entry system, since the system requires sharing a client's information with providers in the system. In addition, the user would determine Zeke's immediate need in order to complete the match or triage. The user selects from a list of available services. The client may need several services. For instance, the client may need emergency shelter for the night, but at the same time wants to have a full assessment in order to qualify for permanent housing. The user selects emergency shelter and simply clicks on Match to find the projects that best suit his need and qualifications. A list of emergency shelters appear that both meet Zeke's need and have the eligibility requirements where Zeke will qualify. With a list of projects that match Zeke's needs, The user can sort the list according to preferences based on location, ranking, performance, measurements, or other criteria. Once the records are sorted based on preferences, the user, or project coordinator, simply selects the most appropriate project with available beds or services. This brings up the project profile with project contact information and eligibility requirements. The user can then select Validate to make a side-by-side comparison. This shows the client's qualification and need with the project's services and eligibility requirements. The user and client could look at other projects on the list to see if there are other considerations that might make another project a better fit for the client. This gives both the client and the user more control as project coordinator. It might also allow the coordinator to work with the provider to modify eligibility requirements to allow more or fewer matches depending on number of available beds or clients served. The coordinator can click on the eligibility requirement rules to better balance the load on the system. The user or administrator can add or remove services or eligibility requirements as needed. The administrator can also create a new requirement using simple natural language programming. In this example, the provider added the requirements that their shelter only serve adults over 18 that are within the 30030 zip code. This concludes our introduction to coordinated entry. Please visit our website to view other videos on coordinated entry, where we simplify coordinated intake, coordinated assessment, coordinated referral, analysis or performance measurement, and finally, data integration made simple. Thank you for viewing our video.
This concludes the first video on coordinated entry.